Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to talk about camera designing and camera edit manufacturing. What basically camera designing is, what is camera edit manufacturing, what are their benefits and drawbacks. We already had a discussion about what sort of effects with the benefits and limitations do use of technology have on operations planning. But now we're going to talk more in detail when we talk about camera designing and manufacturing separately. Now, camera designing refers to the use of computer technology to assist in the design of a product. So basically, as the name is self-explanatory, it's just using camera in order to aid in your designing. That's you can just make your own definition just by that, but such definitions won't give you marks in Cambridge examinations. You have to go a little more, define it a little more. So basically, camera designing packages allow designer to produce 2D or 3D models of products using touchscreens, light pens, etc. Virtual reality is constructed. Use of scanners and digital cameras further enhances the ability and possibilities of the design function. So these are the ways where how the camera designing is implemented. Now, what sort of benefits do you think such technology will have, like making 3D, 2D models instead of just some paper blueprint? You're making actual 2D, 3D models for products, etc. So, what sort of benefits do they have? Well, producing 2D or 3D model, which allows identification of a variety of designs, which is simple to use and allows fast and accurate drawings to be made and presented. So, variety of designs can be identified with this, and it's very fast and accurate for making such drawings and presenting them to your investors, your potential shareholders, and your customers as well. It is used to create a simulated environment for clients, which gives a good visualization of the final product and its parts. So for clients, you can just give them a good visual idea of what the final product will look like and how it will function. It also makes use of animation and virtual reality, can conserve resources like materials, and energy. Okay, this is a small error over here. It's supposed to be a comma here. I do make a lot of spelling mistakes, man. Anyways, so yeah, it conserves resources like time, materials, and energy. There's greater accuracy potentially. Greater accuracy potentially improves product quality. So, since the product is made more accurately, that means that the product quality might also potentially improve. Now, CAD systems can also be linked to camera-aided manufacturing machines to produce objects straight from the drawings, which leads to lower product development costs. So, for the design that you have made to 2D or 3D model, you can just link that to a camera-aided manufacturing system, and it will directly start producing that particular product. Now, overall, it will lower the product development costs, but of course, installing and setting up these machineries is costly, which we're going to talk about now. That drawbacks is first drawback is of course the initial setup of equipment and software required is very high. Staff needs to be trained in order to properly use camera designing. So you can't just a normal person can't just start using camera designing. There's some syntax, some rules and regulations, and some skills required in order to properly use that. And high employee costs will be there for such people who use camera designing, since it's a very high skill, high level skill. So the pay of such employees who use this camera designing, make use of that, is very high. So you might have fewer employees, but the ones who are doing this camera designing, those employees would be paid a little higher salary. So moving on, we have computer aided manufacturing. Computer aided manufacturing is basically CAM, you can say. CAM involves the use of computers and computer control technology to improve the production process. So basically, it's used for production or manufacturing. This can also be achieved through the use of computer controlling robotic manufacturing. So just basically using robots to start manufacturing or producing products. Now, what are the benefits of using CAM? There's overall reduced quality problem due to more precision and accurate product manufacturing. Since there's no humans involved, all the machines are directly operated. They make the product themselves. There's no need of instructions or anything required. Just need to set up the system, and it will make the product for you. So machines, we are humans, we make mistakes. Machines don't generally make mistakes unless they are programmed incorrectly, which is not always the case, which is hardly the case. So there's more precision and accurate product manufacturing. There's also more flexibility as it allows switching easily from one product to another, so you can make a variety of different products thanks to camera-ready manufacturing. There's more design variations which could be produced, allowing for greater consumer choice. So you can make different products, you can also make design variations differently, a variety of variations, so overall consumers will also have a greater choice. Now there's faster production as well, as they don't require rest like employees do, like except for few rare maintenance costs. See, I told you I make a lot of mistakes. Here. There's supposed to be a bracket. Yeah. All good, cool. Now, what are the drawbacks of camera manufacturing? The disadvantages of camera manufacturing. The initial cost can be very high since computer controlled machinery is expensive to buy and install. Of course, the same thing goes for camera designing as well. The skills of the existing staff might not be suitable, leading to possible redundancies, which is costly to a business. Redundancies may also have a negative effect on the remaining employees as well as the reputation of the business. Now, camera designing is not much of a big thing as much as camera manufacturing is. So, designing only a few employees might do, but production process might involve a lot of employees. So, you might possibly switch from labor intensive to capital intensive. That means you just have to make thousands, hundreds or thousands of employees, depends on the size of the firm. Like, you have to just make them redundant because they are not needed anymore. Machines will do the work for them, and that means that it will be costly. You have to pay some salary to them, and overall it will have a negative effect on the remaining employees as well. They might feel threatened and they might just go find another job as well. Also, it also damages the reputation of the business because potential some people who don't know that if the business has switched to this technology, they might just think that the businesses might be discontinuing its operation. That's why it's making redundancy. Also, although that's not the case, but some people might think that, and but generally the reputation of business is damaged because you are not having a good CSR policy. So if you have a CSR policy, then using CAM won't be too easy since the redundancies and everything. Now, yeah, what else was I saying? Yeah, redundancies for camera design. This was not the case. Why? Because well, we don't have that many employees in camera designing. It might be necessary to recruit new, more highly skilled employees who can operate the computer controlled production process, leading to a higher wage bill, even though few employees might be needed. That's the same thing as the camera designing part. And camera manufacturing is not suitable for all businesses. The nature of a product may mean that capital intensive production is not a choice at all. Like, suppose businesses which work in handcraft furniture or stuff like which don't require machineries, which just requires labor, like making cricket bats, overhand parts on the football. So especially handcrafted furniture is there, it has a lot of value in it. So because of that, you can't just switch them to capital intensive production. So business manufacturing handcrafted furniture or home decors would probably lose its uniqueness if they switch to cabinet manufacturing. Furthermore, if such businesses USP was producing handmade items, probably in a niche market, of course, the business will end up losing its competitiveness if they adopt CAM, that is cabinet manufacturing. Oh man, there's so much mistakes over here. Hopefully you guys don't mind this that much. We all make mistakes, don't we? So that's all about camera manufacturing and designing. That it has a lot of disadvantages, but overall in the long run it may be advantages. There is startup cost, the initial startup cost, and the employees issues is something to be concerned about, but in the long run it will increase your sales and more than compensate for this cost, that the initial cost of setting up. But do keep in mind that camera designing and manufacturing is not suitable for all businesses. Some businesses which deal with handcraft furniture or handmade these items, they might have it as a USP, so they can't just directly switch to camera manufacturing. Also, those businesses who have a CSR policy might have to look after their employees, and hence they can't just directly switch to camera manufacturing. Although a certain level of camera designing will be used, because you don't have to make that many employees redundant in camera designing, right? So that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and Allah Hafiz.